That's cool. What's up, Jason? Comments and quests. What's up? Doing all right, my man. How about yourself? Robert Almaguer. What's up, dude? Yeah, man. Trying to get back to a little bit of the scruff, man. Ivan Morales. How are you? Jason Moore. Yeah, man. Kind of had to give y'all a break. I don't want y'all to get sick of my shit. Who's up in here? JRN. J-Rin. How's it going? It's going all right, man. Hope you're doing all right, too. Paying attention. What it do? What's up, man? Next album should be, or next EP should be out in the next couple of weeks. Drinking on the job. All right, let's get this fucking thing going. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Q&A Tuesday. You've got questions and we've got answers. Let's see who's on here. J Flow. It's my buddy. What's up, man? Hope you're doing all right. Slanging them fucking sizable houses and mansions in the RGV. Next tour dates, man. I don't think we have tour dates, anything lined up right now. It's on a month-to-month basis, especially with the entire pandemic and all the craziness that's going on. So anything involving tours or shows is on a kind of like moment-to-moment thing. We don't have anything going on right now. We don't have any dates that are confirmed this year. We're playing it by ear, and we're hoping that everybody stays safe and we can get past this pandemic safely without anybody getting hurt or so on, you know. Tracy Porter says, what date are you playing the Elkhart, Indiana date? I don't even know. That's something I have to look up. Let me ask, because I don't even know off the top of my head. I will ask and find out, though. I just sent the question, and when I get the answer, I will come back to that question for Ms. Tracy Porter. Angie Step 77, Jess, great to see you. Hope you're staying safe. Doing okay. Can't complain. Hope you're doing all right too. Samuel de los Santos says, what's going on, man? Any updates on your next tour? Nothing right now. And I just got the answer on the Elkhart, Indiana. We're actually not playing that after all. I don't know exactly what happened, but we're not doing that. I think it's likely to do with the pandemic. Samuel de los Santos, your question was, what's going on, man? Any updates on the next tour? Nope, no updates yet. Until this pandemic fucks off, it looks like it's going to be same old until everybody is okay. So we know people are going to be all right, man. You can't go out there and do the irresponsible thing, show up at a show and then have a group of people show up and then potentially infect everybody and have this big number or spike in cases of the COVID-19 in your area. And to be honest, I'm pretty damn sick of even hearing the term COVID-19. I'm tired of people hearing people get sick and being hospitalized and having to go through this whole ordeal. But we're in this motherfucker until we can get past it. And so far, it looks like we're still in the thick of it, especially in Texas, because somebody had the bright idea to let things go back to normal ahead of time. Not gonna name any names. If you know, you know. Sarah McLean says, I just started listening to your music and I gotta say it's badass. Well, Sarah, welcome. Thanks so much for checking out our tunes. My name's Jess. I play the guitar. Mark's our singer. Nick is our bass player. Raddest fucking bass player on the fucking earth. Johnny is our rhythm guitarist, also the fucking raddest guitar player on the earth. He's better than me. And our drummer, Mike. At some point, these guys will jump in and do Q&A Tuesday so you guys can pick their brains. Let's see. Jason Moore asks, any news on pre-orders? No news yet. We do have a couple of final tweaks that we're waiting on. Something that I noticed yesterday in one of the intros of the song, one of the songs, and I asked for it to be altered because it was just a little bit jarring to me after listening to it a few times and giving it some time so that I can process. There was one or two more tweaks that we want to make before we start releasing the songs and that kind of thing, but we don't have a timeline just yet. Once we do, we will post. Hopefully by the next Q&A Tuesday, we'll have some answers in regard to that. Gooseman says, great guitar playing, bro. Can't wait for the new album. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Steven Taylor asks, what is the EP called and the song tracks? Right now, the working title is the title track, actually, from the EP. It's, from what I understand, it's called As the Crow Flies. And it was a working title, As the Crow Flies, because it ties into current events and that kind of thing. And one of the songs is called As the Crow Flies, so it's a title track. So there's that. And then we have two more songs on there. So there's a title track, which is As the Crow Flies, the name of the EP, obviously. There's another one called Preach to the Mirror. And then there's a third one called, Jesus, it escapes me. I'll remember it. But those are working titles right now. They might change whenever the EP comes out, but right now that's what it's going to be. It's going to be verifying, making sure I'm not giving you false information. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or take attention away from what you guys are asking me here. But yeah, Steven Taylor, those are the three tracks. It is As the Crow Flies, Preach to the Mirror, and I'm getting that third one just to verify I have the right one. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Let's see. Velma Garcia asks, you know, I love me some Jess, but are the other guys ever going to partake in the QAs? I think she means particularly Mark. She's fond of that motherfucker. The third one, the working title for the track, the third one that I hadn't mentioned was Should Have Been Enough. I don't know if it's going to stay Should Have Been Enough, but that's the working title. I'm giving you working titles right now because I don't know if that's going to be the final thing on the EP. It's a little bit earlier, jumping the gun. As going back to Velma's question, I don't know. I've offered for them to come on here and give them a go at this Q&A thing, but some of my guys are not fond of the camera. J. Rin says, Hope y'all can make it to Lubbock soon. Absolutely, man. Hope we can get back out there too. Jake's is a damn good time every time. Oh man, Comics and Quests, man. I hope that shit comes back negative, bro. Grease says I'm broken. Absolutely. If you're talking about the jam, that's hell of a jam. Love it. Okay. Here's an interesting question by Jason Moore. If you knew you were about to go blind, but only had time to listen to one song, what would it be? Blind? I'm not sure I understand the question because being blind doesn't really limit me to one song. But if I had to pick in the moment, man, I don't know. I'd say that's a tough one, man. I don't know. Just because I've been listening to it recently, I'd say maybe I'm the One by Van Halen. Tracy Porter, I know it sucks. We're itching to get back out there too. We're itching to hit the stage, but we'll be out there again soon. And I promise we're going to be hanging out. We're going to have, unless it's one of those soft openings where they don't allow a lot of people and then we can't make contact with people, which sucks. Like, think about that. If we were to go back out right now and we did any shows, we can't hang out with anybody. We can't make contact with anybody. Can't shake hands. Can't give hugs. Can't take photos. We can't do signings. We can't do any of that shit because it's a risk. So if we were to go out right now, it would suck anyway. Jamie asks, would you guys be interested in doing a virtual concert via YouTube or whatever with a full band? Interested, yes. Likely, not really. Just because we're in different towns and Texas, I think, is going to experience another shutdown soon. I'm anticipating by the end of the week we'll have another shutdown. So for us to be able to get together is difficult because Johnny is about 30 minutes east of the Edinburgh-McAllen area. And they do the shutdown. He's not going to be able to cross the counties because we're in two different counties. He's in Cameron County and I'm in Hidalgo County. And the other guys are in Hidalgo County too. But Mark's actually like, I don't know, 40, 50 feet that way. That's where he lives. And Nick and Mike are in McAllen. But as far as getting together, man, it's difficult because Mike and Nick both work like 12, 15-hour days sometimes because they're very, the places they work for are very dependent on them. So it's hard for them to get away as it is. And then for all of us to be able to make the schedules match with Mark's kids and his wife's schedule and his schedule and everything that's going on with my schedule, it's a bit different. It's a bit difficult to get everybody together and then have the setup and then have the space where we can actually do it. I'd love to, but as far as being able to, it's not as easy as just saying yes, Paying Attention asks, next time you're in North Texas, you should come to Arlington and visit the Legends. We've been there. We've actually taken photos. I think we've posted them on the Facebook page or even the Instagram maybe. It was a while back, but we did visit them. It was when Vinny was still around. So we haven't been there to visit Vinny, but we did visit Dime. Andy T says, I swear, Nick isn't fucking human. His playing is unreal. I have to agree, man. I haven't seen a bass player that throws down the way he does. And yes, there's better bass players in terms of technically skilled and technically, advanced and that kind of shit. But for what we're doing, our sound and what we're after, it's the best bass player in the fucking world for me. Sarah McLean. Have you ever thought about doing a song featuring Jensen Ackles? I didn't even know he sang. My sister's all about that dude, but I didn't even know he fucking sang, to be honest. Gooseman, any Sons of Texas merchandise? Yes, we're working on a new line for merch for whenever we can go back out again. But as far as anything online or anything like that, nothing right now, my man, which sucks because it could be cool and keep something going, but it's difficult. Chris Allwell, what's up, my man? Jamie asks, what's the hardest, either technically or most difficult to write solo you've ever written? Man, that's a good question. I don't think my solos are hard, man. To be honest, I don't think they're difficult. They sound like they're crazy, but they're not. Hardest to write maybe was, I wouldn't say hardest, but challenging coming up with something interesting in the time frame I was given was definitely it has to be Jaded Eyes. You never heard that song? It's a song called Jaded Eyes off of Forged by Fortitude. It's our second record. I did a story on this on one of the previous Q&As, but what had happened was we wrote the album and tracked, like, I don't know, majority of it in LA with Josh Wilbur. And there were small parts that hadn't been finished on the record. And some of those parts included some vocal parts for Mark, and one of them was Jaded Eyes, and then some leads, and one of them was Jaded Eyes. So in that middle section, there's supposed to be a big piece that didn't have any vocal, or didn't have any vocal over it. So I assumed it was going to be a solo, and it was kind of a large piece. And then Wilbur flew down. They worked on the song, and I wasn't there. It was just Mark and Wilbur. Wilbur and Mark tracked that song, and then he calls me. He goes, all right, there's good news and bad news. He said, the part that was supposed to be your solo is now a vocal bridge. But the good news is you get a solo over the chorus, because he knows I love soloing over a chorus of a song. If the song has a vocal chorus specifically, not screaming, not anything like that, but if it has a vocal chorus, or shit, even the screaming ones, if it has a chorus, I'd like to use the chorus music and place that where the solo is going to be, and then just throw a lead over it. I like doing that. And but back to the story was, the bridge was taken by the vocal, which it was hard to, even be upset at, because it was a hell of a bridge. It's great. I love it. But the part that sucked was it was 11 seconds left. So it was the second chorus, I think, and then the vocal bridge, and then 11 seconds, and then back into the song. So being able to do something in 11 seconds that was going to be interesting enough, or even anything that means a damn, was challenging. But I don't know how it happened or what. It ended up coming out pretty badass. If I could go back and redo it, I'd probably adjust some timing issues on the solo. But other than that, it's actually a fucking crazy little 11-second solo that I'm fond of, just because of the story behind it. And that was one of the first times I actually used a whammy on record, so it was fucking cool. Check it out. It's a song called Jaded Eyes. If you're into it, go check it out. But yeah, I would have to say that was your answer. Steve R says, not a question, just wanted to say your music is soulfully refreshing in a world of not much soul and metal. So thank you. Best band out today, period. Man, I got to say thank you so much, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your enthusiasm and for you believing in what we do, man, because without cats like you, none of what we do means a goddamn thing. So thank you. Logan Broadwater says, I missed it. When does it come out? The new songs. We don't have a date yet. The answer to that was that we don't have a timeline yet. We found a couple more tweaks that we want to do before we actually release it. Once we get the tweaks finalized and we have the artwork done, we will start putting together a timeline so that you guys can know exactly when that thing's going to be out. We'll also have pre-orders ready. We'll send links and that kind of thing through social media. As you see, we're pretty active on updating people with what we got going on. And yeah, once we get more info, you guys will get more info. Velma Garcia she says, I actually met John or Mike. Come on. We didn't just meet yesterday. For those of you who don't know, there's a page on Facebook called Sons of Texas Fan Nation. It's run by two ladies that I hold very dear and close to my heart. It's Vilma Garcia and Missy Patterson. So they run the Sons of Texas Fan Nation page. It's cool. It's, you know, just for people who support the band to be able to post their content in regards to the band or, you know, what have you. Logan Broadwater says, come back to Colorado. Ooh. You better believe it. B Stetch says, hey, Jess, what are you listening to lately? Old faves or anything new? Actually, you know what? I've kind of been on a rediscovering Van Halen kick. So the debut album, I've been jamming the fuck out of that lately, and it's fucking great. I love it. I love just sonically, it's incredible. Musically, it's incredible. I mean, just everything about it is awesome. I mean, that's gotta be top 5 in the world. Top 5 best debut albums of all time. Of all fucking time. Van Halen. It's great. I love it. That song, I'm the One, that intro riff is... You can hit the notes, you can play and sound similar to it, but there's a certain thing about it. It's got a certain swing to it. It's not as easy as just playing the song, you know, and the notes though in order. It's just there's a certain rhythmic quality there that's just unlike anything else, and it's great, man. I love that shit. Comics and Quest, glad to hear it, dude. That's fucking awesome. Jason Moore. I thought it might be some sort of haberdasheries. Y'all need to come to Cincinnati, Ohio when all this shit is over, says Chris Allwell. You bet your ass. We will be out there to party with you crazy fuckers as soon as possible. Friesa says, what's this channel about? Randomly found your channel. This channel is about good times, good music, good people. I mean, what else do you need? You get what I mean? We like to have a good time, man. We're a band called Sons of Texas. Check out the tunes. And don't just check out the ones that have videos to them. Check out the other ones that are on the fucking record, because it's one thing that's kind of frustrating is when you hear of a band called Extreme, what's the first thing that pops up? More Than Words. That band is more than words. They have much more to offer than a sappy fucking ballad written on acoustic. It's a great song. I'm not knocking it, but there's more to them than More Than Words. Just like there's more to every other band that's out. Like you hear Baptized in the Rio Grande or Beneath the Riverbed and you think, oh, what the fuck? Some sort of, you know, contemporary band. But we've got other shit on there. We've got heavy music. We've got acoustic shit. We've got ballads. We've got rock. We've got everything, man. Welcome to the channel, Friesa. Jamie, if you can do that, it'd be incredible. It says, that's it. I'm curing this fucking virus so we can get the goddamn SOTX meet and greet. Do it, man. Beastek. Beastek. I just got that. It says Hidalgo County. Wow. Heard it's really hitting the fan over there. You take care and stay safe. It is. It is hitting the fan out here. It is. That's exactly why we can't fucking move yet. Sucks. Mike Sigler says, come to Kentucky. You know it. Louisville in the house. Samuel de los Santos. Let me take a fucking picture of this because it's something that I've addressed on more than one occasion. And it's something that I think would be incredible because not very many people know the awesomeness that is John Olivares. He's a fucking awesome guitar player. And the guy the guy needs to have a little bit of the spotlight. I think it would be incredible. Now, what the hell am I talking about, you might ask? Samuel de los Santos asks, would you and John consider having a guitar solo battle at one of your concerts? Fuck yes. Not a battle, just a jam. It's not a competition. It's a fucking good time with my brother. And 6-string slinging son of a gun with big buns. He's got a fucking fast. You know, you get to learn at these things whenever you live with somebody in a band pretty closely for years. So, Down in the Trenches solo is fucking nuts. Sounds like it would be a fucker to play. Andy T. It fucking is a fucker to play. That's why whenever my man Jaden Baker is in the crowd and he's feeling froggy, I let him have a jump at it because he plays it better than I do, I think. Gooseman, sorry, man. Last question. Would you be willing to put videos teaching guitar licks or style of playing? I have, man. I did. I think it was like a live lesson of one of our songs. But that's all like my personal channel shit, man. You know what I mean? This is specifically for Sons. Maybe we'll do like a run through as a band of some of our songs whenever we get a chance. If you got any suggestions, drop them in the comments, man. I'd definitely get back to that with that info to the guys, and we can put something together. But as far as personal shit, that's all on my own channel, man. If you got questions about that, you can go over there and I'll refer to those. Jason, have a good day, man. Anton Crowley, I've answered this question. It's we don't have a timeline yet. Things are still pending. Artwork, a couple of tweaks in the masters. Once we get it and we have a timeline, we will announce said timeline. We'll let you guys know about pre-orders and so on. David Cruz, my brother from another mother. Just rolled out of bed. Glad I didn't miss it. Shouldn't have drank those 2 monsters. That's what happens when you're busting ass. My man's a firefighter. Jamie says, Velma and Missy do a great job with the Fan Nation. I don't use Facebook much, but every time I go, there's always lots of goodies on there. Yep, absolutely. Velma and Missy, they are family to the band. Missy Patterson and Velma Garcia. They run the Sons of Texas Fan Nation. There's 2 different pages. There's the Sons of Texas. The blue check mark is the band. The Sons of Texas is Velma and Missy. It's sort of like a second page where, you know, family of the band or supporters of the band can go to the page, upload their content. You know, sometimes they'll ask, "Oh, where are you from?" Like I think the pinned post on Fan Nation is, it's great to see, you know, the Sons of Texas family growing. Kind of like a roll call. Where are you from? Where did you first hear about the band? You know, photos, whatever. Go. It's a great page. They do a hell of a job running that shit. It's great. My boy Chip's on here. What it do, Big Paula? Tyler Sterling. I was tooling around on bands in town, and it got me thinking, do sites like those factor in what cities you visit? Assuming you're able to choose, it's a headliner management calling it shots. Tyler Sterling, I touched on this on the last one, but I will gladly touch on it today again. So the headliner determines exactly where the route's going to be. So, for example, if I'm going to name a band the Beatles, just because there's a fucking poster right here of the Beatles. If the Beatles was going out and they were going to do a headlining run, their management and their booking agent work together to work out a route to which markets are best for them, which markets are going to do great for them. And then if the Beatles says, all right, we have a support slot, we want to take out some bands, and Sons of Texas gets chosen. Sons of Texas does not get to choose any places we visit or anything like that. So it's the headliner that determines the route. Like when we went out with Seether in Europe, Seether had already had their route. We just went as a support to support them in their tour and that kind of stuff. So whenever that goes out, like I know sometimes we'll post oh, check it out, we're going out with X band or whatever. And they're like, oh, you're from Texas. How come you don't have any Texas dates and that kind of thing? It's not the way it works. X band determines the dates and the route. We're just going along for the ride and supporting their cause. So there you have it. Anton Crowley, can you explain some of the process of being in the studio, like what goes into making music? That's actually a damn great question. Being in the studio is a lot like having a microscope under what you're doing or over what you're doing and kind of really fine tune the things that you're doing. So on this last run, we went up with 1.5 songs, knowing that there needs to be 3 on an EP that we had planned and predetermined to go when we went up to San Antonio on this last one, which is the one that still hasn't been released. So we went up with a song called Should Have Been Enough. That was Mark's complete, like he wrote the shit out of that. It's a fucking great song. It's awesome. And then another one that John had riffs for called Preach to the Mirror, which is another jam, like just a straight jam, dude. It's great. So when we were in the studio, we knocked out what we knew, and then we spent time kind of doing pre-production on the spot. Normally, that's not what you do. You do pre-production on your own, or if the producer you're working with allots a certain amount of time to work on pre-production, which is fine-tuning songs or writing songs that you need to finish. That's what pre-production is. And then you go into the studio and you do the actual production. You do the final tracks. You add the finishing touches. The producer does his jam, mix, master, put it out, done. But sometimes, like this last time, we were completely unprepared due to this COVID thing. We weren't able to get together. We were stuck at home trying to figure out what our financial situation was going to be without being on the road. Lots of things on our plate. So us being unprepared, was partly into that, partly to do with, us letting shit get out of hand. But because we went up there unprepared, we kind of had to write things on the spot. And that's exactly what happened with that As the Crow Flies, which is the title track of the record, or the EP, I should say. As John was tracking Preach to the Mirror, he was putting down his final parts, I think. We all had it in the back of our heads because nobody mentioned a damn thing about it, and we knew it. We all had it in the back of our minds that what's going to be the third song. Nobody knew. So me, grabbed a cup of coffee, my guitar, my little amp, went to the next room where nobody was, and I got to work. And I started jamming. Boom. Guess what? Got a theme riff, something that comes out more than once. Check it out. I got a verse. Check it out. I got a chorus. Okay, that's majority of the song. Now we need a bridge. We need that. And Mark, being so involved in what's going on in the current times, kind of stepped out as well. And then, 30 minutes to an hour later, came back and was like, here, man, check it out. I got these ideas for this and this and that. I was like, oh, check it out. I got a bridge. Check it out, whatever. So it kind of fell in place. I don't even know how, but the entire song fell in place in a matter of an hour, something like that. So sometimes that's the way it works. But being in the studio, man, it's just be prepared. Always, 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 always. Don't waste the producer's time. Go in there knowing what you're going to do so that you don't have any wasted time on things that could have already been done on your end. Don't go in there expecting to write your album on the spot. Right? We've been guilty of that ourselves, and I'm telling you from experience, it's shitty for the producer because they could be doing better things and digging around with you. But that's what it's like, man. You go in there, you muscle out some tracks, you can make sure you get the best take every time. If you think it's good enough, it's not, fucking do it again. Make sure you get the right take. Make sure you get the right sounds. Just give it everything you got, man. It's studio, to me, man, I love all 3 aspects of doing what I do. It's writing, recording, and performing. I love those 3 things in no specific order. I like being in the studio. I like being in my jam space, working on things. And I like being on the stage, performing to the best of my ability, having a good time with familia that we've come to develop over the years in our playing. I hope that answered your question, Mr. Anton. Arturo Mejia asks, have you ever played in Mexico? If so, how was that? We played in Mexico once a long time ago. It was years, man. I'm talking maybe, something like 12 years or something like that. But it was with another band. So Nick was on guitar. I was on bass. Mike was on drums. John was on second guitar, and we had a different singer. His name's Edgar. The name of the band was Lay in Ruins, and that was like techie kind of death metal style, you know. And we had some friends that were gonna go play in Monterrey at a place called Ibex Bar, and we got invited. We went, and it was one of the best times of my life. I got really tossed. We played the show. Fans were nuts. Like they just loved every bit of it. There's no like Mexico is bonkers. It's incredible. If we get a chance to go play out there again, we get invited. I would love to go play Mexico again. Mexico is incredible, not just because of the concerts and the crazy nutty motherfuckers that go attend that shit, but because the food's awesome. The beer is incredible. The fucking tequila is, I don't even need to mention what that's about. You already know what that's about. But man, just Mexico's great. I love it. Stephen Taylor, hot for teacher. You better believe it. Chip says Nuno rules. Thank you, sir. It's a great statement. I love it. He is great. He's great. Frieza asks, seems interesting. What are some topics, themes that you'd like to make songs about? If you're talking about lyrical content, my man Mark likes to write about things that we experience, and in turn creates content for lyrics. A lot of the times it's just personal things that we've experienced ourselves and that kind of thing. But yeah. What happened here? Did it freeze? There you go. Did you ask this again? Mr. Santos, De Los Santos, would you and John consider having a guitar band? I think I answered that. Wow, it says, Jamie says, by the way, I saw today on Spotify that Baptized recently passed 2 million spins. Are you sure it was Baptized? Because I'm sure I heard that Beneath the Riverbed passed 2 million spins. Was it also Baptized? Because if so, that's news to me and I didn't know about it. The other guys probably do. David Cruz asks, what's your dream guitar, Jess? I'm talking about something hard to find. Mine is an Ibanez Universe. I don't think it's in production, man. I don't think there's a guitar out there that's made to my spec, like something that I would find just incredibly perfect. Making it a dream guitar. Like I've owned high-end stuff. I got a Les Paul, a 2011 Les Paul Traditional Pro 2 in tobacco burst, and the thing looks great. I have an American Strat. I've had Ibanez. I've had ESP. I mean, they all work. They're all badass, but specific specs, specific woods, specific fret heights, specific fret numbers. Like if there's 24 or 22, or some of them even go to 27. Specific bridges, pickups. The combinations are endless. If I were to give you my specs right now, it'd be something that's not even out there. So the idea right now in my head is to build it from scratch or find one that's close to it and modify the shit out of it, which is what I did to this thing here. So for example, in this thing, this is just your average Jim Root Stratcaster, right? It's American made. I'm not like a Jim Root super fan. I dig what he does with Stone Sour, or what he did with Stone Sour, and what he does with Slipknot. He's a great player. I didn't get this because of him. I got this because of the spec. So it had a compound radius from 12 to 16. It had EMGs. I was on EMGs for like 10 years or some shit. And then I swapped them out and I put passives in it. You got the tape so that the string don't get caught underneath this thing here. I took off the cap because it kept getting in the way and the volume kept rolling down. So now I just do this number with my pinky and I know when and how to manipulate it when I need it to. I also added a couple of internal things that are none of your goddamn business. And yeah, man, I put on the Marzio straps because they are the ones that actually stay in place. This tape here is skateboard grip tape. You see that? You hear the grit on it? There's more over here. And what that's for is because sometimes I like to boom, right? and the thing don't slip. If you ever try to do that with Les Paul or something heavy, the thing's gonna slide off of your jeans. It's not gonna stay in place. But skateboard grip tape. I also do it on this one because sometimes I rest my leg on the monitor, put that bad boy up there, and it ain't gonna fucking move. It's usually for lead parts. I got that from a guitar player named Kelly Fitzsimmons. Used to be in a band called Carry the Storm out of Houston, Texas. Absolute best fucking guitar player I've ever seen in my fucking life live. I've seen players before talking about, like, you know, I've seen Van Halen on YouTube. I've seen Van Halen on, you know, TV and that kind of shit. Never in person. I don't know what that's like. But me personally, that I have seen live, his name's Kelly Fitzsimmons. Look him up. Incredible player. The dude is just off the fucking chain. But anyway, I got that shit from him. Skateboard grip tape. Keep that shit in line. It's even got a little couple of parts like that guy right there. That's just a little nut because I dropped one of the caps. These things come out real easy and it's shitty. So I put a nut in there that just happened to fit and I wedged it right in. And yeah, man, the wear and tear is all natural from the road. I like a little bit of character in my guitars. But yeah, 25.5 scale length. And I love maple boards. Oddly enough, I don't have a guitar that has a maple board that I use live, which is stupid. So it's technical. Hope that answered anything about your question because it's difficult to answer. Andy T was there. He says, I'll shout about that gig forever. Seether gig was awesome. Thanks for the pick too. Man, that tour was unforgettable. It's probably the best tour, in my opinion, that we've been on. Just because everything was incredible. The crowds, the quality of the enthusiasm from the people in the UK and Europe and all that is just off the chains. And it's just, the food's incredible, the beer's incredible. The man, Seether was dope. Went out on the town with Sean Morgan. Somebody ended up pissing in a fountain. Somebody ended up getting in a fight with a damn ATM machine. It's just a great tour, man. It was incredible. One of the best parts, I'm going to fangirl a little bit. One of the best parts about that tour was getting there and fucking finding out that Clint Lowry, the guitar player of Sevendust, was filling in for Seether on that tour. So I got to meet Clint. I think that was the first time I ever met him. And the dude was just nice as shit. I tried my best not to fangirl hard. I met him. I was like, bro, I dig your shit, bro. Like, you know, and he's graceful about it. He's like, yeah, man, heard a lot of good things about you guys. Glad to have you all on tour, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And even let me jam on his guitar, you know, while they were on stage or whatever. It's just, man, it was fun. It was a good time. Had a great time. Probably the best tour that we've been on in my experience. It's awesome. Sergio Rincon, dude, wow. This guy is from my hood from back in the day, Las Milpas. Shout out, much love, dude. Says, yo, dude, te ves bien chulo. Double header question. Coolest mofo rock star that you have had a chance to hang out with. And number 2, favorite European country you visited. Take care, man. That guy's my boy from fucking high school, man. We're from the hood down in Deep South Texas. Like, I'm talking about barrio shit. From the same hood, and he asked a couple of questions. He said, coolest mofo rock star you've ever had a chance to hang with. Clint Lowry has to be among the top. Everybody in Sevendust is among the top. Like, just the nicest dudes ever. Buckcherry was dope. Seether was incredible. Sean Morgan was, and we got to go bar hopping with Sean Morgan. It was dope. But yeah, man, I think Clint, just because of how he is as a person and not just his skill in vocals and guitar and just as a musician and everything he's accomplished in his life. It's not just that, it's just the person he is inspiring to me, and I hope to be even a fraction of the man that he is. It's incredible. It's a cool dude, just the nicest guy you'll ever meet. I don't think I've ever heard him say an unkind thing about anybody. Just a fucking cool dude. And that's what I like. I like hanging out with people who are good people. Like, if you're out to be bad to somebody else or just be a dick and just for no reason, I'm not likely going to be hanging out. It's not my thing. And then the second part of that question was favorite European country you visited. Germany, probably, man. Germany or Switzerland. Switzerland was nice. Switzerland was beautiful, but the countryside in Germany is unmatched. The fucking everything in Germany is incredible. Their cars are incredible. Their beers are incredible. Everybody there is nice. Everybody, like, dude, just Germany is great. I probably have to say Germany. Samuel de los Santos, what did you think of Mark jamming a few songs with Mark Morton's? Great, man. I mean, everybody in the band at some point or another was influenced by Lamb of God. And Mark writing, jamming, and performing with Mark Morton is something that all of us would have hoped at one point to achieve, and he's doing it, man. And I think it's great. I mean, who's gonna complain about their band having ties to somebody like Lamb of God? Get what I'm saying? Like, Mark performed on Mark Morton's record, and they did incredible work together. He went out on tour with him. They did incredible work there. They did an acoustic tour, knocked that shit out. Mark's a hell of a performer, man, and I think Morton made the right choice choosing that guy. Comments and quests. Speaking of the Seether tour, are you excited for the new Seether record or any stuff that you're looking forward to? I haven't heard anything off of the record. I haven't been really looking out for new music because my guys are pretty on top of that shit. And anytime something new comes up, these guys will send it to the group chat, the group text that we have. And they'll be like, hey, check it out. Here's the new Lamb of God. Or hey, check it out. Here's the new Seether or the new Sevendust or something new. So I feel like I don't even have to do any of the work. Those guys will eventually put it on the group chat, and I'll have a listen that way. But I'm always excited for new stuff, man. I look forward to anything that comes out new because new music is great, whether you're in a band or not. As a music fan, me personally, I look forward to anything new anytime, man. I'm still very much a fan of music, even when we go out to perform. Like if we're out with, for example, Seether, like I wasn't there just to perform and try to get my band's name established and that kind of thing. It wasn't just that. I actually watched them, and to me, that lineup with Clint Lowry singing harmonies and vocals it's just, I've heard the Seether records, and this outdid it. There was different cadences and different little intricacies that Sean Morgan and the guys did live that are not on the record that make it special. And then you add Clint Lowry in the mix with his vocals. It's just off the fucking chain. But yeah, I'm a fan of music too, man. So anytime anything new comes out, I'm down with it. But as far as any stuff that I'm looking forward to be honest, I'm not even in the know of what's coming out. So Riverbed past 1 million. That's what I figured. Oh, you're saying Riverbed past 1 million, Baptized past 2. Wow, it's incredible. You know, our video for that one was on YouTube for a minute, and it got taken down for whatever reason. And it recently just got brought back up, and I think it was like at 800,000. It should have been well over 2 million by now. But because it was down for a few years and nobody knew how to get it back, it's sat in limbo. Anton Crowley. Absolutely. Thank you, brother. Is there anything else that I guess, any advice for a band beginning that's in the studio? Yeah, don't even think about the studio until you're tight as a band, because you're going to go in the studio and you're just going to record the mistakes that you're going in there with. I mean, if you've got the equipment at home and you've got, like me, this laptop that I'm talking to you guys on has Pro Tools in it, and I've got my setup here where I track my own stuff. And that's how I get my videos up on social media and that kind of thing. But be tight as a unit. Know what you want. Know what you're aiming for in terms of the record, how you want it to sound, how you want the songs to be structured. Make sure you have everything even perfect before you go to the studio. Because if you go to the studio and you're unprepared, again, man, it's just a waste of time for the producer, and he's likely not going to want to work with you again. So be professional, be Yeah, just be professional, man. Be professional as best you can. Make sure you have everything prepared. Being prepared is everything. And have a good fucking attitude. Don't go in there with a shit attitude, man, because I made that mistake. I've gone in there with a shit attitude and I've butted heads with a producer before and it did nothing for me. It did nothing for the record. It did nothing for anybody else. It just caused conflict that you don't need. I was a fucking knucklehead and I had to learn the hard way to keep my fucking mouth shut sometimes. Be easy to work with, but that's not to say be easy to be taken advantage of. Know your battles and choose them wisely. Samuel de los Santos asks, have you all thought about releasing a DVD with raw concert footage and behind the scenes of tours and recording? We do our best to record footage on the road, just cell phone footage, but I've tried taking a GoPro before and it's never organized, man. It would have to be to where we have the resources to bring along somebody that will be dedicated to being on camera, like handling the camera while everything's going on. Because I feel like if one of us has a camera, the other guys are no longer going to be candid. You know what I mean? It's the best footage is candid footage. So if you get somebody that's dedicated to working the camera while you're on the road, you get some of the best shit for live DVD or for raw footage and content to upload for people who support to consume. Andy T +1 for a DVD. Yeah, man, down with it. Tyler Sterling asks, have you guys tossed around the idea of having a live stream with you all guys jamming from home? I'm sure there's a bunch of magic behind the scenes that's needed. It's not magic, dude. It's a bunch of bullshit, to be honest, because we like to bullshit around. But we have talked about it. It's just there's circumstances in the way that prevent us from just being able to, plug in a camera and jam. It's Johnny's like 30 minutes east. Mike and Nick are like 15 minutes south. Actually, Mark lives like 50 feet from me. But man, if we could, we would. When we get a chance, we will. And actually, we talked to. There's a guy named Machine. He's a producer. He produced Lamb of God's record, and before Josh Wilbur, the record that I think it was the one that had Redneck on it. Fuck, Sacrament. Jesus. Machine produced Sacrament. He reached out to us and wanted us to do a live performance of some of our tunes, kind of like a live show, live concert, whatever, and to go up and jam with him while he's recording us. So maybe that could happen once this thing kind of blows over. Andy T, what was the beer of choice on that European tour? Man, I don't even know. I had like, I don't know, like 8 different beers. And 9 times out of 10, they always had Heineken. But I'm like, bro, you guys got better beers than Heineken. What's up? Whenever we did hit the UK, I'm a fan of Newcastle. So I like Newcastle. And but I'm always open to trying different stuff, man. I like the hoppy shit. I like lagers. I like pilsners. I like the dark beers. I like all that shit, man. Comics and quests. Kelly is a god. I miss Curtis Stone so much, dude. Yeah, fucking incredible band. Hell of a player. If you fucking know him, if you see him, tell him I said hello. We're friends on social media, but it's weird on social media. It's like there's a lot of people hitting you up on social media all the time. He's a good dude. Love him. Noise with Nami's welcome. The latest Sevendust rock. You bet your ass. Eric Benson says Sevendust is way underrated. Man, I agree with that 100%. I don't get why those guys are not bigger than they are. They're a fucking big band. If you go to their shows, packed. Like, just their tours do well. All that. It's just, I feel like they should be Metallica status. They're that great. But then again, that's subjective. That's my opinion. I don't know what the circumstances is that they aren't that big, but I agree. They're a way underrated band. Jamie, Seven Dust was supposed to open for Megadeth concert when I went back in the day, but they had to cancel last minute, and Static X got to play almost their full album to fill in the time. That's, dude, Static X is dope. I've never seen them live, but I hear good things. And I don't know who it is that's filling in for Wayne, but supposedly he's doing a hell of a job too. Noise with Nam, he says, I'm in a truck, so I have to find a way to record direct into a laptop because the RF noise from my amp is obnoxious. Are you using either the first version that PV made of the EVH, or is it one of them 4-channel Marshalls? What are they called again? The JVM. Because both of those things are, I guess the one that I had was noisy. I don't know if they're like that normally. Samuel de los Santos. That's interesting. He says, who is one of your favorite female rock singers and would consider recording a song with them? I'd consider recording a song with anybody that's down to jam, but Lizzie Hill's dope. I like that 80s approach. She's got a fucking monstrous voice. I dig it. She's cool. Tati from Ginger's badass. I dig the crazy ass screaming, growling that she does, and be dope to do like a heavy tune. Believe it or not, man, I like all that shit. I like metal. I like all that shit too, man. I like the old school shit. I like Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, 6 Feet Under, all that shit. And I also like the newer stuff like Whitechapel, fucking Upon a Burning Body's dope. But yeah, man. Black Dahlia, Brandon Ellis is a fucking animal. If you don't know who Brandon Ellis is, look him up. He's one of the best guitar players on the fucking planet. Did a festival in San Antonio called River City Rock Fest, and I think the second year Black Stone Cherry was on that, and I got to catch like a song or two on our way to go do, I think it was press or whatever. We had to go do a bunch of like interviews and all that, but I stopped because I was like, man, this is dope. I've heard of them. I've never actually jammed any specific songs or anything like that, but the guy was knocking it out of the fucking park when I saw him live. Jeff Healey is incredible, dude. I like his version of Hoochie Coochie Man. Dude plays fucking mean guitar and his vocals are dope. I know who the fuck that is. D. Holland asked, someone has probably asked already, but are you guys working on anything new? Yes, we've already recorded it. It's done. Our good friend Chris Mora, who's also producing the EP, is putting the final touches on it as we speak. Once we get the finals, we'll have a timeline and be able to put it in place so that you guys can have a better understanding of when that shit will be up. Jamie says Amy Lee would be an amazing collaboration with Mark's vocals. No argument there, my man. I'm sure there's somebody that I've thought about before. It's escaping me right now. It's weird. Like whenever I'm on camera right now, I forget things, and then when I'm done with it, I go back and like, man, that's what it was. Steve Satchel Band. I've seen that. Comics and Quests. Is it okay? The only thing I don't get is Steve Satchel a fictional character and they're just an instrumental band? Because that's the impression that I got. But I've heard some of the stuff. It's great. Ooh, 3 minutes left. Any questions before we go? Because if not, I got some things I gotta work on. Caleb Sandoval asks, Jaden is cute, right? Of course. Jamie asks, is this your favorite hour of the week? Like it is mine. I enjoy it. I do. Yes. Man, I'll be honest, like for my home shit, I don't even have like a high-end interface either. I didn't even buy this. I borrowed it from a cousin or my wife's cousin, and it stayed with me. Look at how old and beat up this thing is. But this is not to record pro shit. It's just to put down ideas and send them to the dudes. Nothing fancy. And then the wall of amps is right here. Boom! Black Star fly rig. That's it. Just for ideas. It's not for anything crazy. Arturo Mejia, where do you find you get most fans from? I found you guys accidentally on Facebook. Been to everything since then. That's awesome, man. To be honest, I don't even know. Nick has those numbers. Nick is the one that knows where he looks up the algorithms of people that, where we get most people, most listeners from, and that sort of information. But I feel like Texas is a pretty obvious one, but there's some other states and countries where we get prominent listeners from. Europe, UK does well for us because we went out there a few times. But I don't know exact numbers or locations. Caleb Sandoval says, I just checked y'all out a few weeks ago. It's awesome, man. Welcome to the party. I love y'all's Pantera covers. Thanks, man. It's fun. Anytime we get to do Pantera, it's my thing, dude. I love it. Does the interface run on Steam or coal? Man, it's great. It's true. It runs on coal. It's one of them old ass interfaces. Phil Arnold, Chicago, fantastic. Texas, how about that? Anton Crowley asks, who's a better player, Dimebag or Slash? That's subjective. But if you're asking my opinion, it's Dimebag hands the fuck down. Slash is a great player in his own right, but Dime had a great mix of the bluesy feel with Eddie's influence. And he made it his own thing. The thing about it is that Dime's riffs they have their own identity. It's not like anybody else's riffs. People try to mimic that shit every day till this day. So for me, it's Dime. And I don't think I'd have a hard time getting people to agree with me. Caleb Sandoval says, when's the tour with All That Remains coming? Man, if we could, I'd be into it. But one, this COVID thing is going haywire. And then two, those dudes are blowing the F up. So I don't know if they'll even want to take us on tour anymore. It's crazy. They were already a big band, but they somehow seem to be still growing. It helps that Jason Richardson is on there tearing it up. Rest in peace, Ollie. He's one of my friends, man. I got to fucking hang out with him. That guy is another one of the coolest people that I've met. I got to hang out with him, share some licks, do some back and forth playing and that kind of thing. And just got to be able to talk with him. So, incredible human being. He's hilarious. He's a great dude. Rest in peace. That's a damn good point. Caleb Sandoval says Dime solos and rhythms are. Oh, never mind. Dude, Jamie says, would love to hear Jess do a Flood solo cover. Still one of my all-time favorite solos. Same. I've done that. I posted it on Facebook, but that was before I started my channel. So I may have to revisit that and upload it. I mean, Anton Crowley says that his friends say Slash over Dime, but hey, man, again, it's subjective. That's the thing about guitar. It's not a competition. It's not about who's better than who. Everybody. That's the beautiful part. It's that you have your own sound. Even if like I tried to sound like Dime, I cannot sound like Dime because my hands are different than Dime's. I play different than Dime's. I pick different than Dime's. I use different pickups. I use different guitars. Even if I had the same setup, even if I got up on stage during a Pantera concert and Dime gave me his guitar and I played on it, it would sound nothing like Dime. And if Dime got on stage and played my guitar and my setup, it would sound nothing like me. It would probably sound 10 times better. But the point is, nobody sounds like anybody. And the beautiful part is that different things come out of different people. So you get a fucking smorgasbord of music, which is what we have today. Anton Crowley, best blues artist. Easy, bro. Stevie Ray Vaughan. No questions asked. The king of blues, as far as I'm concerned. D. Holland says, I can't believe you haven't broke loose yet. I turn all my friends onto the music. Don't worry, it's on the way. Man, we're working for it, man. Yes, sir. David Cruz. Yes, sir. He agrees. Jamie asks, how many times have you broken a string on stage? 0. 0, my man. Not because I'm good or anything like that. It's just pure dumb luck. I also change my strings often. Allergies are kicking my ass. Marcos Martinez asks, what's up, Bayuko? What it do? Everything good down in the RGV? It is not. Things are crazy, man. This COVID shit's out of hand. Ooh, it's 2 o'clock. I'm gonna answer some of these last questions and I'm gonna fucking roll out. That's what I figured, Comics and Quests. That is what I figured. Richard Carpenter's up here. What's up, man? You the man, my dude. Stevie Ray Vaughan's Little Wing is awesome. Lenny is a classic. Everything that guy did was incredible, and he was like a all around. Had a phenomenal band. It's just Double Trouble. Had a phenomenal voice, phenomenal playing, phenomenal songs, phenomenal sound. Like, what more do you want? The guy's all around. It's great. Here we go. D. Holland asks, what do you guys tune to key-wise? Key-wise, I don't know if you're talking about like what key do we use mostly, which is C minor. But we tuned a dropped C, which is from thickest to thinnest. Thickest to thinnest. It's C, G, C, F, A, D. Kill switch is in that tuning. Mudvayne's in that tuning. Some of the hell yeah stuff's in that tuning. So on and so forth. No questions. Just wanted to say I love you guys and miss you all too. Is that the incredible Mrs. Harris? If it is, I love you and I hope you're doing great. Phil Arnold, any Midwest plans coming up? Nope. No touring plans coming up as of yet. Once we know what's going on with this pandemic and they get a hold of it, we will have a better understanding of when we can start touring again. It would suck if we went to go play a show right now. We wouldn't have contact with anybody. We wouldn't do meet and greets. We wouldn't fucking signings. We wouldn't do any of that shit. We would play, get off stage, and go home. Because nobody's trying to get sick. I got a baby at home. I'm not trying to get sick and then bring it home to him. You know what I mean? Jamie says, thank you for taking the time to chat with all these awesome people. And me too. Man, thank you. Thanks for taking the time to come and shoot the shit with me. Hopefully we can do it in person sometime because this fucking pandemic is on my last goddamn nerve. Where to start learning acoustic for beginners? Man, I don't even know. Learn your strings, learn your fingerings, learn your positions. Above all else, for all players, if you're just starting out, if you don't know it already, learn the cage system. The cage system is going to be your best fucking friend. Scales are dope, but the cage system will keep you in line and have more inspiration for your writing than just learning scales. Marcos Martinez, later, man. Have a good day. We'll see you soon. I knew it. Mrs. Harris. I know we can't wait to get back out there too. Give my love to Jeff. And please stay safe out there. Richard Carpenter says, awesome band, even better group of guys. Man, appreciate that. Thanks so much, dude. It's a good friend from Arkansas. All right, that's it, folks. No more question. Thank you guys for tuning in to Q&A Tuesday. I got to go fucking do something about these allergies. Oh, Jeff is on here too. Well, hello, Mr. Harris. I hope you're doing great. I love you guys. I miss you. Stay safe. Everybody on here, wash your fucking hands, wear a mask, stay safe, take your vitamins, do some exercise, drink water, take care of yourselves and each other. Some old Jerry Springer shit. Love y'all. Later.